Please understand that the miseducation of black people and the miseducation of white people about black people were done on purpose. It was systemic, calculated in every aspect of life. This is one of the main reasons why it's important for us influencers, right, to do the right thing. We have to undo 400 years of miseducation, 400 years of damage. These people attacked us in every which way. They even prevented Norman Rockwell from presenting us in a good light. He had to paint black people as porters, subhuman and subservient, spaces. That's how he was forced to do it, okay? And of course, we can go down the line because they wanted to present an image of black people to the world that we were less than human, 1/5 of a human being according to them. And it's up to us today to make sure we undo all this damage. And we have to make sure we educate our children at home because they're not teaching them properly in school. So a lot of y'all send your kids to school, you think they're being educated. No, they're not. Okay? They're being brainwashed. Okay? So it's up to us to change all of that, which is one of the main reasons why I want y'all to help me with Free Black World. Okay? Because we can't do it on their platform. They control these platforms that we use on a daily basis. And when we say the right thing, we get suspended. You understand? And the right thing is anything that attacks the status quo. And I do this on a weekly, daily basis here. My accounts have been suspended, banned, or whatever because white people live in lies. White people hate the truth. You understand? The more lie they spread, the stronger they think they are. You understand what I'm saying? Because they want their children to live this false sense of supremacy that doesn't really exist. It's called white fragility. So they have to lie about everybody else. They've always known the truth about us, but we don't know the truth about us. You understand what I'm saying? This is why we need to migrate. It'll take a while for us to undo 400 years of damage.
I mean, imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized. And then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable? I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people. And you're still the way you are. I mean, a good example actually is African Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything. They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman, not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But you see, they come from a people of accomplishment to one degree or another. Not a people of piracy and theft and appropriation. They come from a people who created and built and developed in their own countries, in their own land. And even though you did everything that you could possibly do to support
a white passing mixed person, I hear racist stuff all the time. It's time to expose. Alright, so one time I was with this group of white people, and the girls were talking about this girl who had jungle fever. And this white girl goes, "Isn't it a shame to see our race mixing with another? What's going to happen to our white purity?" I couldn't believe what I just heard. There was another time where I was at a party, and the only other black person there left early. Right after he left, one of the white dudes there proceeded to say the N-word. Not even in a song or anything, just said it out loud. When I confronted him about it, he said, "What? He's not here anymore." Little did he know that I'm a double agent. Needless to say, that situation was handled. There's another time where we were talking about an opposing basketball team. We were talking about why the team was so good, and somebody goes, they're only good because they let all the charity cases on the team. There were no white people on this team. I'm sure I'm not the only white passing person with these kinds of stories, so feel free to do it.
Growing up in the mountains of North Carolina, I was taught racism. From as young as I can remember, I was told black people are violent. Black people are lazy. Black people are not as smart as white people. I remember my dad told me that black people are too lazy to work, and so they depend on welfare to live, and they sell drugs. 10 minutes after my dad said that to me, a man knocked on the door. I let him in. He handed my dad some money. My dad weighed out some marijuana and a few pills and handed it to that gentleman. And then we went to the store to buy some groceries. We didn't buy groceries with the money that that man just handed my father. It was little yellow, blue, and green food coupons. So my dad is trying to teach me that black people are drug dealers on welfare while my dad was selling drugs out the living room, living on welfare. You see, he would tell me, son, I work very hard. I don't make enough money to provide for you kids, so that's why I sell these drugs. I just love you so much. And these food stamps, well, I pay my taxes, so I earn them. You see, the indoctrination begins at a very young age. We are taught without even knowing it, there are two Americas. Despite marijuana use with the black community and the white community at the same rate, the black community is arrested and convicted at a rate 3 times higher than white America. There are black Americans in prison right now serving 30 and 40-year sentences for marijuana, while corporations are becoming multi-billion-dollar businesses selling marijuana. There are two Americas. Tell them, Charlie. Tell them. If a man broke in my house right now, and I shot that man in the back, albeit...
Watching these clips of white people not being able to accept that they have made black people go through a lot of things. I mean, white Americans have really made big mistakes, have really erased black history, have really done more damages than the goods, they need someone to come out and address them. They need someone to come and make them know that they did so big. Maybe somebody can just come and remind them what they have been doing to the black Americans. They have done a lot of damage to the black Americans, and it's high time they have to accept that they have made people suffer in the hands. So this video I'm covering about what lies that white history has made people to begin to doubt black history. And honestly speaking, even if you search anywhere, Google, ChatGPT, anywhere you search, you find that black people have a very, very long history with America. But white people have really erased that. I have clips here. I want to come back and talk about the video, but before that, let me give you some clips here, and then I'll come back to talk about the video.
In my own house, I could not claim self-defense because I shot him in the back. But a police officer can shoot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times and still be at work. If that's okay with you, we are on different moral platforms. We are on different ethical existences if that's okay with you. There's two Americas. The America I grew up in says if you comply, everything will be okay. Well, for white America, that's true. But black America faces a very different reality. The use of force and the threat of the use of force is actually 4 times higher for police-initiated interactions. The America I grew up in will say, if you stop talking about racism, it'll go away. Well, for white America, that's true. Because as a white American, I don't have to think about my race. I'm not judged by my skin color as soon as a potential employer meets me. As soon as a loan officer meets me, as someone that's coming to appraise my home for sale, don't judge me by my skin color. As a white American, I can completely forget about my race and even racism, so long as nobody talks about it. So then in my world, it won't exist. Well, I've decided enough of that. I'm here to call white America to task. I'm here to tell white America it's time to stand the hell up. Beside our fellow human beings, beside our fellow citizens, and it's time for white America to be part of the solution. I was raised by racists. I was taught how to be racist. So you can quit telling me that racism doesn't exist. You're a damn liar. I was raised in the belly of the beast. I was raised by racists, and now they hate me. I call that a glow up. I'm not here to speak for Black America, over Black America, at Black America. I'm here to speak to and at white America, and I'm screaming, wake the hell up. White supremacy is woven into the very fabric of this country. White supremacy bleeds from every pore of this country. In schools, we have standardized testing, but we don't have standardized resources. We don't have standardized opportunities. In hospitals, a black woman is more likely to die during childbirth at a rate 3 times higher than that of a white woman. In neighborhoods, power plants and dumps are more likely to be put up by a predominantly black neighborhood than a predominantly white neighborhood. At home, 22% of Black America lives in poverty, whereas only 9% of white America lives in poverty. White America loves black music, black trends, black culture, but kills black people at a rate 2.87 times higher than that of white people by police. All of these things will not change unless we tear down, I'm going to say that again, unless we tear down the system of white supremacy that has built them into existence. We cannot fix the current system, for it is not broken. This system is working exactly as it was intended. Passing laws will not change it. You cannot legislate morality. Black America has screamed tirelessly for decades about these injustices, while white America has turned a blind eye and a deaf ear. Well, I'm here to say no more. Change is coming. Revolution is coming. It's time to open your eyes, white America. White people make up nearly 60% of the American population, and the overwhelming majority of them refuse to even admit that racism exists. They think that there's a conspiracy against them by the government with zero evidence, but ignore the obvious systemic racism and oppression against Black America that's well documented. Well, I've made it my life's mission to call white America to task. Mr. Blake, Miss Austin, to all the families of victims of police brutality in this country, to all of those of you who wake up every day and deal with the system of white supremacy built to marginalize you, I say to you this one thing: I will stand with you. I will march with you. I will protest with you. I will fight with you. I will use my privilege and my platform to demand that white America stop ignoring this humanitarian crisis happening right here in America. So, white America, this is your choice. Either be part of the solution, or by God, you are the problem. No justice.
I told this story in a video. I've mentioned it on podcasts before, but I've never made a video and told the story. My mother, seen here, was 16 years old when I was born. My dad was 21. They'd been together since she was 14. So he was 14, or sorry, she was 14. He was 19 when they got together. You guys have heard me talk about my dad before. He was very racist. My mother will tell you the same. And my mother, being very young and uneducated, she just kind of went along with whatever my dad did. And he was also abusive. My mother was abused. And I talked to her before I made this video to make sure that she's okay with me telling that part of her story. My dad was a domestic abuser and also a child abuser. He abused me as well. That's not the point of this video, though. When I was 3 years old, my mother was 19, she found the courage to leave my dad, which wasn't easy to do. And the divorce was nasty because my dad he's passed away now, a pretty controlling, narcissistic type guy. And shortly after leaving my dad, my mother was in a relationship with another man who was a black man. And my dad being the racist. See, I was raised in the 80s in North Carolina, and my dad was a racist. So her leaving him for a black man was like this big taboo thing. Like, you don't do that. And so when everything went to court, my dad ultimately got custody of me because the judge in the 80s in North Carolina is not giving the child to the woman dating a black man, to the white woman dating a black man, especially when my dad was the one with the career and the income and the money, and my mom had nothing. He had left her with nothing. Fast forward to when I was 10 years old. During those 7 years after the divorce, my dad taught me to hate my mom. He taught me that she was a sinner, that the Bible did not approve of interracial marriages. He showed me in the Bible where the Bible says you can't marry outside your race. And I believed her to be basically of the devil himself. I hated her. When I was 10 years old, I found out that my dad was being taken to court because my mother was trying to get visitation rights. I was terrified. I didn't want to meet this evil woman. She won. She got visitation rights of me. I'll never forget ever to this day. I can still vividly remember where I was, the weather and everything when she picked me up the first time. I was terrified. But I made it my mission, that first visit, that she would never visit me again. I made that my mission, that she would never want to see me after this day. I called her a sinner. I called her children, because she had 3 children with her second husband. Obviously, they were biracial children. And I called her children the N-word. I called her an N-word lover. Now, keep in mind, I'm 10 years old. But this is how I was raised. This is what I believed at age 10. And she told me, you shouldn't think like this or talk like this. And I ignored her. It was like a 2-hour visitation, whatever it was. And then she dropped me back off at my house. I told my dad, she'll never pick me up again, Dad, I promise you. 2 weeks later, when it was time for her next visitation, I waited in my yard on the Saturday at the time that I was supposed to be there. And I was sure she wouldn't pull up, but she did. She did pull up. I was befuddled. Oh my God, she came back. This time, she took me to her house in a mostly black neighborhood, and a place I had never been. I was raised on the mountain, all white neighborhood, very much racist. And I was told that black neighborhoods were crime-ridden, filthy areas. Avoid them. So I went to this black neighborhood and I thought, oh my God. I went in her house and she said, I want you to meet your brothers and sisters. And they came out and they were so excited to see me because my mom had never told them a bad thing about me. And I wanted to be mean to them because that's how I was raised. But I couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to be mean to them because they were so nice and polite to me. I was not nice to them. I tolerated them in my mind, but I wasn't mean to them. And then every 2 weeks she came and got me. And over the course of time, I built a relationship with my siblings, with her. And I started questioning things like maybe the things my dad told me are not true, because what I see in this neighborhood, what I see in my mom's house, what I see everywhere is not what I was told. And I had a choice to make at the early age of about 11. Do I believe what I was raised, or do I challenge these ideas? And just like my mom had got away from my dad and challenged those ideas and grew and was better, I decided that I too can be better. I started challenging the ideas my dad raised me. It started a very tumultuous relationship with my dad, as if it wasn't tumultuous to begin with. Again, I was an abused child. I'm trying to keep this video short, so I'm missing a lot of very deep details, but I'm trying to give you the idea. By the time I was 15, I had read books and read the speeches of Dr. King and watched interviews with Malcolm X. And I really started realizing Like, there's a whole nother world out there that I didn't realize. Fred Hampton, Angela Davis, these things really opened my eyes. And I even basically got into a fight with my dad over it when I was 15 and was thrown out of my house. But my deconstruction process had begun, and it has continued for the past, 27 years. I'm 42 now. And it's all thanks to my mom. Just being a mom. Just showing up. And I've never had like the closest relationship with my mom because the story I just told you. But I've been friends with her now for, how old is that? 25 years. And I just want to say thanks for showing up. Thanks for not giving up on me. I may have never challenged my ideas and beliefs and may have been stuck in the same trap that, I was born into, and I wasn't. So, thanks, Mom.
Now, when we dig back to the history, how much the world, how much America has treated black Americans, what black people have been through, and they're still standing, they're still being able to give people good culture, good music, like everything they do, they still do it through some pain. Somebody writes a song, it's just pain. It's about the pain of something, So, but the issue is not about the pain that people have experienced in their life. You see, the way the world is treating black American, they feel like black people are so strong enough to stand the pain, and the issue is that whereby they want to make it look like Americans are the one who found America. America are the one who have the history of America. But no, when they find a history that the white people are the founder of America, then in other terms, they are erasing black history. They are erasing black history about building America, black culture about making America greater and better, black music, and almost everything to do with the black. They are erasing. So what's paining black people that nobody is talking about how much pain they have caused to the black people. Nobody's talking about how much they have made the life of black people miserable in America. Nobody's addressing all those issues. They're only addressing only the white issues. They don't want to address the issue of how black people have been fighting, how black people they have been protesting to make sure that everybody gets their rights. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how much damage they have caused to the black people, how much traumatizing they have taken black people through, how much they have made black people depressed. Nobody will heal them. They're only talking about their life matters, white matters. Nobody's addressing our own matters that, as black people, that they have been through a lot, and we need somebody to come and keep on preaching that black people have made history that nobody or no race or no community will be able to make. You see? So this whole thing has something inside it. This whole thing has a problem in it. And in that case, we all have to be true about ourselves. First of all, accept your mistake as a white American. Accept your mistakes and admit that you made black people go through a lot so many years ago. And don't try to erase our history for yours to replace our history. Don't try to erase ours to replace it with your history. That's bad. So let's keep on supporting black people. Let's keep on being there for them. Let's keep on preaching, like preaching resilience, preaching people who are strong, preaching our culture and everything. All right? Tell me in the comments. Do you feel like somebody lied to us about everything? Everything lies. People like to lie to us about everything. And they're still lying about everything, because whites they lie for a living. They lie for a living. Trump lies for a living, and they know that Trump lies for a living. Peace with you, and I'm out.